Game time decisions. We are live on SportsGrid on a Friday night. It's Kevin Walsh. It's Gabe Morency. We will update the Masters. We will talk NBA. Wow. Baseball. We'll get to it. Hockey. But I can't help myself because I might be breaking this news to Gabe. I went a little quiet right before the show started. Breaking news out of Michigan. Trey McKinney, Gabe, back with the Wolverines next season, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel.
Not pleasant news and great news, but not surprising news. You and I talked about this earlier in the week. It makes sense for him to come back and be the focal point of this offense. A team that, and listen, we've talked about it, guys. Obviously, everybody wants to repeat. It's not easy, right? But the fact that the Final Four is in Michigan next year, I think is it's not a bad sell, Kevin, is it? Right? Hey, you want to run it back, and imagine running it back, Trey. We're going to be at Ford Field in downtown Detroit doing this, and step by step, it's coming together, right? Cadeau has signed his deal. Now McKinney is he signed his deal. They bring in Estrella yesterday. The question is, Morez Johnson, I would imagine we would know by the end of the weekend because it's a fluid situation, but Harris actually is in Ann Arbor as we speak. We talked about that earlier in the week. Mm-hmm. Dusty May is doing big things right now, Kevin. But with that being stated, the Michigan Wolverines fell short last night against this Denver Pioneer team, bro. I got to tell you, this Denver Pioneer team, they got outshot. 52-26, Kevin. All right, listen, I love hockey, and we love handicapping hockey, but I got to tell you, I'll put less on, a surefire. Football will get to us all, right? We'll all do dumb things when it comes to the sport of football for whatever reason, when it comes to betting. Basketball, I'll sort of get locked in until, I like this. This team's winning, and let's go bigger on it. Hockey is the cruelest of them all. Man. You can argue soccer as well, but Kevin, Michigan dominated, bro. Yeah. They outshot them 52-26. They literally doubled them up. It went to double overtime, and Michigan were out shooting them 13-2 in double overtime. 13-2. Yeah. Denver's third shot of double overtime went in. It's a cold world. Nothing is crueler than hockey, and there's really not one sport. You could argue, okay, a running back, a quarterback can do this and that and stuff, but there's not really a sport where one player really can just steal a game. Mm-hmm. And that's a hot goalie in hockey, Kevin. A hot goalie in hockey. And Johnny Hicks last night. This kid's unbelievable. He's 15-0-1. He hasn't lost. He's never lost a game. He wasn't their starter. He's 5'10". He wasn't drafted. He's not drafted by the NHL. He's a Canadian kid, actually from the Vancouver area, Kamloops, outside of BC, etc. But so he was the backup goalie. He takes over. He's now 15-0-1. He hasn't lost. The unbelievable last night, Kevin. 49 saves. He's the reason. But Denver Pioneers going to the championship game against the Wisconsin Badgers, and don't get in front of this Denver team. They've won 3 national championships since 2018, and it looks like they're about to add another one.
Yeah, it was double upsets. I know yesterday within that Frozen Four. So it's going to be Wisconsin and Denver. Big Ten still with an opportunity to put another championship on the mantle. We take a look at the slate tonight, and, it's a little bit in the eye of the beholder. I'll just say this quickly with the NBA. We don't even have, full menus. I'm considering Cade Cunningham's under points, rebounds, assists tonight. FanDuel doesn't even have it. Cade Cunningham is one of the 10 best players on the season in the NBA, and they don't have Jalen Brunson props up, Gabe.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he's playing. And for the record, the Pistons were on record as stating that there is a minutes restriction tonight. With Cade, so I agree with any fading of Cade that you can this evening. There's a lot of weird point spreads tonight, and there's a lot of sort of questionable, okay, why? Let me throw this at you. The Miami Heat, and we've talked a lot about this team. Like, bro,
Way too much. I know.
Like this team, though, they're gutless. Like, let's just like Heat culture is dead. Let's call it out for what it is. That whole, you know what, the old school guys, and that's gone, man. These dudes are cupcakes. They're flakes. They got punched in the mouth by the Raptors again last night. Like just another sort of like, wow, you guys are just like, I wish if the Raptors played the Heat every night, Kevin, we'd have the 1 seed. Like, I wish we could
be the best team in the league.
I'd be like, man, can we play the Heat again? Right? But all kidding aside, they're stuck in the 10 hole, Kevin.
Yeah.
Like they're the 10 team. Like, why would they even play anybody at this point?
Like if they got
help, do you try to fight your way through it? Like the Heat are a disaster, and I know Washington suck, but it's a lot of points tonight.
Well, it is, and look, so it's always interesting, like who wants to pretend they have a chance. Where like if Charlotte loses out, I think Miami could get up to the 9. Charlotte's going to be booked as we know the Hornets are going. I'm surprised they're not laying 15 to Detroit tonight with the way they booked Charlotte, but. I got to tell you, Gabe, you probably know what I'm going to end up doing this Miami game because now I'm stuck, right? So yesterday we ended up splitting the totals, which we knew was going to happen.
Yeah. That was extremely frustrating. It just creeped over the number.
You know what I think was worse too?
There.
I think we both would have preferred it to go the other way. I had more with the Bulls Wizards game. I assume you had more Raptors Heat, and so it broke the wrong way.
You know what was frustrating is. I don't know. I bet more overs and unders, and I think generally people do, but I'm not saying, everybody always only has an over. But how many times have any of us needed points? Like, yeah, listen, I need like 7 points in the last 2 minutes of this game.
Yes.
Of garbage time.
Yep.
And you'd be better off with like your grandma taking shots. And you sort of get like mad, and you're like, how are you on an NBA roster, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like bricks, like, yeah, I just need 6 points in 3 minutes. And it's like brick. And then you see the last minute, and you're like, oh, my God, they're not even going to shoot anymore, are they? Right? And that sort of panic. Last night, Kevin, in Toronto, every bench scrub did not miss an effing 3 for Miami. The one time I'm on the under, I'm like this, they were all in. Like, it was bench. It was like, kids are hitting from the logo, 3-ball, Raptors, garbage players, dunk. Yeah, let's care and fast break this and transition this. Right? I'm like, guys, why now? Like, why? Nobody tries in the last 3 minutes of a blowout game, but suddenly I got 10 guys on the court, Kevin, and all are trying to get the next freaking, 10-day contract. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like a reality show. Battle of the who can get an NBA deal. Everybody was like, swish. I was like, I've never seen so many scrubs hit so many shots. And it still only got to 242.
Yeah, no, it did, right? Yeah, like it's not. It was funny. I was looking at that.
It started off
this is the
strong.
One I need.
It started off strong. Remember, it was like a track meet. I was like, I'm done. Yeah. And then I was like, nah, every Raptor game hits the wall. Then I felt like a genius, Kevin. It hit the wall. In-game total was like 228.5, and I was like, perfect. It's going to go under.
Yep.
And I was like, good. It's a blowout, too. The Heat. You know what happened, though, too? We ripped the Heat, but the Raptors were up by like 22 or something, and the Heat did go on a run mid-third.
Yep.
That's what spiked it. The Heat Spoelstra got really upset once. They finally did this little, all right, let's try. And they went on a little run, and then the Raptors just pulled away again.
And the funny thing was the Wizards game, like sometimes you can always convince yourself maybe. The game had 100 points at half. I'm like, what? Who booked this total? Like, what am I even watching right now? We'll be right back on SportsGrid. All right, guys, we are back at the right here on Game Time Decisions. I will just, quickly let everybody know kind of the latest around Augusta National. Rory McIlroy has actually found himself now minus money to win this golf tournament here. I'm seeing minus 110, minus 130, kind of moving a little bit
That's
on
wild.
the fly right now. Pretty early, Gabe. It would be incredible if this guy goes from, winning this green jacket being the biggest thing, and, he couldn't break through, and now he just kind of runs away with it as the defending champion. I almost don't believe it. Like, it's hard to believe that that's actually going to happen here for Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, and we'll get to it from a betting perspective momentarily, but this would be like an ultimate mic drop. And if he pulled this off and he went back-to-back at the Masters, pulled off the Grand Slam last year, and had not only won the Masters, Kevin, but went wire to wire, which is incredibly rare, right? Incredibly rare, which really would put him, he already has the rep as amongst the best ever, but there's still work to do. And that's the thing with golf, right? You can win in different times when people don't think. Rory still has a lot of athletic years ahead of him. I mean, Jack won at 46, etc. So I think you can't judge careers too early. We talk about this often with athletes. Josh Allen's getting to that spot now. Connor McDavid in that spot. Aaron Judge in that spot. But I'm old enough to remember when John Elway was a choker, Kevin. Right? And John Elway can't win a big game. Well, he won 2 Super Bowls and rode off into the sunset in a row. Right? So, Steve Yzerman in hockey, there's a lot of Phil Mickelson was a choker and can't win a major. And then he won and he just terrorized people. But with that being stated, I looked at that earlier today. So earlier today, Rory had a 3-shot lead on people. And I was like, I can't believe it. He's only plus 110 or something like that. This is ridiculous. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, but who's going to catch him? And he is hot right now, but you can't think like that, man. Golf is a long process. Kevin, this is like a football game, bro. We're literally midway through the second quarter right now.
Oh, it's absolutely true.
Nice comparison, I think. And Rory's got a 10-point lead in the football game. Mm-hmm. All right, is it a slam dunk he's going to win? And, he's playing 99 other teams, not just one team. There's a bunch of teams playing. They're coming at him. And Patrick Reed isn't going away, guys. Now, Reed just hurt himself. He was 7, and it looks like he's going to bogey this, so he just fell to 6. He was within 2 shots. So, I'm not saying, Rory's going to choke this, Kevin, but I'll tell you what, from a betting perspective, and I guarantee you, any golf bettor would tell you, there's not a hope in hell they would bet on Rory right now at that number.
No chance.
You pick your spot. Who's the guy? Dude, Justin Rose, man, this guy's unbelievable in these tournaments. He's lingering at 5. I don't think he catches him. Patrick Reed's a badass, bro. He's the one here that won't get intimidated. He's won here before as well. And once again, Kevin, and here's Fleetwood, another guy looking for that big elusive first, big win. He's lingering. But I wouldn't bet McIlroy right now. But we always talk about it, guys. Past history at the Masters at Augusta. Past champions do really well here. Mm-hmm. They just do. They show up. They can play this course drunk, man. The old guys do well here. Everybody does well here. If you're good here, Kevin, you're good here for life. You show up and bang, I know that tree, and I got to do this here. Watch out. There's a bunch of mosquitoes in that area over here. They know everything about the course, and it's automatic. So Patrick Reed, guy's from here. He's won here, and here he is lingering. I wouldn't write him off.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think the biggest thing I agree with is just betting Rory right now. Rory was more in control last year when he won it, and still, if I'm not mistaken, Gabe ended up in a playoff. Obviously, it was just sweat to the very, very end. So this
and
is
he doesn't have
hardly
a
done
7-shot
deal.
lead now. He's got a 3-shot lead.
No, not at all.
You got a 3-shot lead. That's a bad shot, one bad drive, bro, and suddenly that 3-shot lead's a 1-shot lead, Kevin.
I got to tell you,
leads evaporate quickly.
Yeah. The one
and
thing
it's hard to be hot 4 days in a row. And give him credit. He's been hot so far for a day and a half in a row here.
But to your point, Gabe, the winning score was basically would it be 8 under, 9 under, 10 under, right? So Rory's not going to shoot 18 under at this course. So it's kind of catchable. I think one of the interesting things, though, because it's Rory in front, Gabe, they drop the Scotty number more than they usually do. Scheffler's 45-1 right now. You don't usually see Scotty roll back that far in a tournament. Like he's not going to miss the cut. Just kind of for, Scotty's minus 550 to be top 20. I'm not going to bet minus 550 on him to be top 20. I guarantee you Scotty Scheffler's finishing top 20 here at Augusta National. I guarantee.
The thing with Scheffler is he wasn't playing great coming into this.
No.
A lot of people just sort of thought, all right, he's going to, he can sort of snap his fingers and, yeah, okay, fine. You know the course and you're Scotty Scheffler, but there's a lot of guys just dialed in right now at the top of the board here. But overall, Kevin, the theme of this tournament has been how hard it's been for them.
Yeah.
Just point blank. The sunny conditions, guys, have caused the course to be a lot harder than it normally is. Right? Think about it. If it's a little, it rains a little bit and stuff, it slows everything down. Right? If you have a bad shot, Kevin, for people who just sort of golf, casual golfers, when it's so dry. So, the turf is, the grass is hard, it's beautiful and stuff, but, the greens are really fast. If it's a little rainy or it's moist in the air, etc., the ball slows down. So, a bad shot off the green, it won't roll off the green as much. You hit a bad shot, it's so extreme now, right? The ball won't stop. It's very, so, the people that are, that can throw darts, Kevin, they beautifully can, these pro golfers.
Yeah.
Ball control, literally. The guys who can just make a ball stop. Yeah, I'll hit it 140 yards in the air, and I'll make it stop, drop. Bing. Guys that can do that, you got to be the top shot makers in the game right now in these conditions. And I'll tell you what, they're sadistic, these guys in golf. They'll be like, all right, now we're going into Saturday and Sunday. They think they have the course figured out. Let's move the holes around.
They do.
Right? They make it harder as it goes on, or if it's too hard, they'll ease it up a little bit. But I could see them. I mean, like I said, guys have really struggled as it is, but I could see the Masters sort of dialing it up a notch as the weekend goes on for the top guys to really see who's the best.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to follow. We'll, of course, be doing just that. We'll talk some baseball after the break here on SportsGrid. Man, I got to tell you, there's a lot of names that are still just entering this portal. Like, I know, people's interest levels in this can vary, but I didn't just see this until now that Alan Graves, the freshman out of Santa Clara, entered the portal. For anybody, again, it depends like what blend of draft you cover. I know people in draft circles who felt that Alan Graves was a sleeper top 10 talent if he left as a freshman at Santa Clara. I don't even think he's entering the draft. Like, I think he's just straight up portal. I think he's got a pretty clean argument for like the best player in the portal now. But he's like a late addition, so it like throws teams' plans off a little bit here. And it's one of the advantages I think, though, a team like Michigan that Gabe kind of talks about has, where Michigan's getting big news by just bringing guys back. Like Elliot Cadeau and Trey McKinney is going to be one of the more respected backcourts in college basketball.
Oh,
no
speaking of which,
the
sorry,
land,
Kevin.
Gabe.
Just to jump in as far as breaking news. Now, I'm not saying he's signed, but Michigan and TCU's David Punch are now being mentioned in connection.
He's a good ball player. Yeah.
So David Punch in the mix right now. But Texas, Kansas, and Louisville are also in the mix for David Punch. I don't really think Punch is the fit for Michigan. Listen, Kevin, I think Michigan have gone in all week on Juke Harris, and I think they're going to pull it off. I think this is the one that they've focused in on. For the record, the Blackwell talk, John Blackwell out of Wisconsin, it seems like he's not in the Michigan crosshairs anymore, or mix, etc.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of reports out there that it's down to Illinois and Duke. I can really see him as a Duke Blue Devil, too. He'd fit that Illinois program. He likes to shoot the three, too, but I could see him with Duke. So, like I said, he was looking for $4 or $5 million. You can never confirm this type stuff, though, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems a little high for me for Blackwell.
Yeah, that's the problem. The money stuff of it. So we mentioned yesterday, Gabe, PJ Haggerty. It looks like he's going to Texas A&M, which is a pretty big get. I would argue for that program, just getting a guy who can kind of walk in and score 20 a night here. So, again, these are the kind of things that we're going to continue to follow on the show, no doubt about it. And I said we would get to the baseball board, but there was one NBA game, Gabe, that I was curious if you got involved with. Maybe I'm feeling myself a little bit too much because Pacers-Nets was just who's tanking harder? Brooklyn, give me Indiana. They win by 30. So we have, I think, a repeat scenario a little bit tonight with Utah and Memphis. But I got to tell you, I think the team favored is tanking harder. And in my opinion, the most shameless tankers are the Utah Jazz. Like, if they could be up 6, and Will Hart's be like, sick, we're playing with 4 players rest of the game. Let's see what happens. So I bet Memphis. I took 4, though, Gabe. I was going to play money line, but at 4 points, this could land 1, 2, 3 here all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, and I agree with you when I looked at that. This is the tank bowl, and nobody has gone out of the way to tank harder than Utah have. And, I want to call Silver out on this a little bit because their owner has been pretty defiant about it, right? And screw you, and right? And same owner as the Utah hockey team that just clinched a playoff spot. So he's got one team rolling, and he's trying to build this other one. I don't disagree with you as far as that that angle is concerned. I don't think Utah are thinking, let's give a win to our home fans. No, these guys have been trying to lose all year. Right? So I sort of have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with your pick, but for me, there's a couple of, as far as the NBA is concerned, we talked about the train wreck game between the Washington Wizards and the Miami Heat. So it's like, pick your poison. What do you want to do? I don't even know who's playing. I think Sarr's out now, right, as well, for Washington. But I see that, all right, my boy Will Riley is playing. Will Riley, you got Reese. You got enough players here in the lineup. You got Koulibaly. You got Carrington. I'm taking the points. Dangerous, yes. I'm taking the points. Everybody sort of laughed and rolled their eyes when I took that plus 23 the other night against Denver. I took the Memphis Grizzlies plus the 23.
They were up.
They lost by 16.
Gabe, but there was a moment I got to tell you. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the in-game number was minus 21.5, and I'm like, this can't possibly happen. Like, that got weird. I got to tell you, though, Gabe, with Washington, due to that Pacers win, I think the Wizards might be deadlocked into like the legitimate worst record in basketball. Like they wouldn't mind putting a win on the board. They wouldn't.
No, they're trying tonight.
Like Gabe, I don't hate $5 on Washington money line. I got to tell you, you can tell me.
And if I'm Miami, he might just bench everybody too. You don't know. We'll get to the Pacers on the other side. The Pacers are 8-2 against the spread, guys, in the last 10 games.
We'll break it all down.
I got to tell you, Kansas basketball the last 3 months, if I was the number one player in the country, I'd cross them off my list. Bill Self did not do Darren Peterson any favors. And now Badunga's going to stay in college but leave Lawrence? I'm red flags, in my opinion, Gabe, around the Jayhawks.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Kansas City trading as a favorite, Joe. Do we think that's the possibility of that first game?
Yeah, they should make it the Jets, Donnie, so they can guarantee a win in front of their fans to open up the set. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would do. But no, I mean, ideally the NFL would love a Kansas City reunion at Buffalo in the new stadium.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Why are all these contracts being signed, folks? Yes, the players are talented. Yes, they are deserving of it, but it's such goodwill to hand out these buyout arbitration contracts for these young players this time of the year, right before opening day, to get all their fans excited. And notice, right before the Pirates' home opener, not before opening day, for their home opener, to set up.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Am I going overboard when I'm saying that? I've never seen anything like this.
He's damn good, and it seems like he has an extra focus on pitching. I saw him pitch with the Angels and hit with the Angels, and it seemed like hitting was what he was trying to prove. Maybe because guys like John Smoltz would come out and said, "Oh, he should be a pitcher only."
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with you guys here on SportsGrid. And kind of like we said, it's a really interesting night in the NBA. No one's playing tomorrow in the NBA. Everyone's off to set up the Sunday,
And no one's playing in the NHL tonight, which is just sort of like, we've got like this bizarre world, like you said. I know. Like
yeah. When is the regular season finale in the NHL? Why is it so much later than the NBA?
So stupid. They announced the NHL like last week, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give credit to the NHL. You guys are actually on top of things. You're ahead. Good job. They announced, here's our opening Saturday and Sunday NHL playoff schedule, like the TV times, and you know what I mean? All right, good. Like, you know what I mean? It shows you guys are on top. I hate that, like, for fans. People want to go to the games, travel, whatnot. And then I clued in. Their regular season ends on Thursday. Their playoffs start Saturday. It's pretty nice of the commissioner, Kevin, to give them 48 hours, right, before they start their playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you guys doing? And they do schedule it, so they'll try to make it softer. Like, they won't have a team playing Thursday, but it'll be there'll be some teams in load management mode this week in the NHL. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. And that's where
they're going to be like, we have no reason to play anybody. Like, why are we going to do this? Right? And NHL teams don't do load management, but they don't have a choice. Like, they're not going to get guys hurt, like playing 3 meaningless games. So, we got some teams are playing real games, but, so we go through the week, Kevin, of the NHL still, which is so stupid. And I'm thinking, if you're going through the damn week, then what are you taking a night off tonight for then?
That's what I don't understand. I thought it was to set up a
night
finale.
Earlier. Like, what are you doing? Like, exactly.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. You also want to talk about
All right,
entirely sure not what's going on. Can I just say with the NBA, Gabe, tonight, there's a game that, due to the 65-game rule, you basically guaranteed it stunk. Since Shea met the 65-game rule, you know who's not playing in Denver?
Oh, he does. He doesn't need to play now. Yeah.
No, Gabe, it's 11 and a half. Not because the Nuggets are hot, because it's all backups.
I'm not giving the pick, and it's like, like you said, I'm playing this, but I'm not going to tell people to do it. I'm not going to, I played. This is the absolutely, I need to win some money. I want to win this bet. I took the Atlanta Hawks, Kevin, on the money line, parlayed with the Denver Nuggets. Minus 186. Cleveland, I'm surprised Harden's even, listed. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
They want to lose. They don't really care. And we read it right. Quinn Snyder said, we don't care who we play. We just want to get in. And he goes, we're not taking the pedal off the metal. And he basically said, we're playing hard all the way through. And he said, at this point, we don't. And he basically called, I don't even call him out, but he said, some coaches and some teams care. We do not. Mm-hmm. And then he went on to say, we're pretty confident no matter who we end up playing. Yeah, and anyways, you're playing Cleveland. Right? Right. You know what I mean? Basically, and you got Cleveland who are doing this wink. No, we're trying, but, So, Kevin, I think Atlanta are going to win this game tonight. And Denver is still playing for something. And Oklahoma City are not. So, Oklahoma City are tapped out. Denver are not. It's minus 186 money line parlay. You could arguably throw the Hornets into this thing. They're another team that wants to win this basketball game tonight. But we've seen the Pistons, Kevin, be a real scrappy team, even when they don't need the game.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I took the points with OKC just because I've seen this team hang around. It's a lot of points. Denver doesn't cover a lot of big numbers. We've talked about that. But from an outright perspective, Denver might need the game the most on the board tonight because getting up to the 3 is a godsend for this team. It gives them home court advantage in round 1, playing Minnesota in round 1. Anthony Edwards is not healthy. They get to play San Antonio in round 2 instead of Oklahoma City. If by a miracle OKC were upset in round 2, they get home court advantage in the Western Conference Finals. This has been, by the way, I didn't know this. This is the first time in Nikola Jokic's career the Nuggets have won 10 games in a row. That blew my mind when I heard that. So
unbelievable.
This is a Denver team who's on a run right now. Fading them against the number is a lot different than picking them to lose a basketball game. I think Gabe would agree with that. I don't mind it one bit. With the Knicks and the Raptors game tonight, and I wanted to ask you this, Gabe, they basically said if the Knicks win, they're going to play Toronto in round 1, and if they lose, they play Atlanta. So, they kind of control the fate of it all. I feel like the Knicks are just playing basketball, but I wonder who you think the Knicks would rather play, Atlanta or Toronto?
Considering the dominance over the Toronto Raptors, I think they would rather play the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. The Hawks are red hot right now. The Hawks are, you could argue, a little bit more explosive than the Toronto Raptors are. Just sort of the juggernaut that they are right now. I mean, they're 26-10 in their last 36 games. Don't quote me, but it's pretty, et cetera. That's off the top of my head, that's what it is. They're on a hell of a run, the Atlanta Hawks. It's been a couple of months now. But without being stated, the Raptors, Kevin, and the Raptors, at some point, they break through, and then they'll beat the Knicks a couple of games in a row. I could see happening. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not, the Raptors aren't a bunch of kids. You're dealing with RJ Barrett. You're dealing with Emmanuel Quickly. You get in a playoff series, you're going to get that sort of former teammate thing going. Brandon Ingram went off for 38 last night, right? So Raptors are sort of dialing it up a notch a little bit. They stumbled a little bit, but I like what I've seen this week. And to me, this 6.5, so if you're the Knicks, like you just said, Kevin, you get in a motivation factor, and I wonder, I don't like the phrase let down too much, but they did just play the Boston Celtics last night, right? And do they? What do they? Like you said, what do the Knicks want to do? But let's not get too cocky that NBA players can pick and choose whether they want to win or not, right? Mm-hmm. Historically, the Knicks have beaten the Raptors. The Raptors, though, guys, yeah, they're playing off a back-to-back. Yeah, they were at home last night. For people that don't know geography very well, Toronto to New York plane ride is about 37 minutes on a private charter. All right? Like, it's fast.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's not a road trip. Yeah, Kevin, like I used to do the New York-Toronto thing all the time. It was 55 minutes that's the public. So imagine the private, like, like it's like literally 40 minutes in the air or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's like it's close. So it's not a road trip. And you just saw, Kevin, the Raptors just played 2 games at home, and they had a day off in between, and they were kind of both easy games. Like, they smoked Miami. They won convincing. They beat Miami. So I think they're rested. I'm not really worried about a back-to-back scenario so much, but this is what I wanted to throw at you guys, and this is an unbelievable stat, Kevin. This year, the Toronto Raptors are 26-0 against the Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Utah Jazz, Portland Trailblazers, Golden State Warriors, and Memphis Grizzlies. They're 0-20 versus the Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, Houston Rockets, Denver Nuggets, LA Clippers, LA Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, and Minnesota Timberwolves. Don't expect the Raptors to win the championship this year, guys. They're 19.
You heard it here first. First. Raptors, they're not winning the title.
They're 19-15 against everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I talked about it, Kevin. They are the definition of, like, beating bad teams. Like, the Raptors, like, they handle their business like this team. Good teams they've struggled against. Like, good teams they've struggled against. And 19-15 against everyone else. For the record, they're 0-5 against the Knicks the last 5 times they played them. So,
yeah,
give me the 6.5 tonight, Kevin. I'm taking the points. It's a statement game for the Raptors.
That is an incredible breakdown, which includes how long it takes to fly from New York to Toronto involved in the breakdown.
I think some people think Toronto is like they're living in igloos. It takes 6 hours.
Very far. Very, very far.
Dumbasses.
I gotta tell you, Kansas basketball the last 3 months, if I was the number 1 player in the country, I'd cross them off my list. Bill Self did not do Darren Peterson any favors. And now Badunga's going to stay in college but leave Lawrence? I'm red flags, in my opinion, Gabe, around the Jayhawks.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Kansas City trading as a favorite, Joe. Do we think that's the possibility of that first game?
Yeah, they should make it the Jets, Donnie, so they can guarantee a win in front of their fans to open up the set. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would do. But no, I mean, ideally the NFL would love a Kansas City reunion at Buffalo in the new stadium.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Why are all these contracts being signed, folks? Yes, the players are talented. Yes, they are deserving of it, but it's such goodwill to hand out these buyout arbitration contracts for these young players this time of the year, right before opening day, to get all their fans excited. And notice, right before the Pirates' home opener, not before opening day, for their home opener, to set up.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Am I going overboard when I'm saying that? I've never seen anything like this.
He's damn good, and it seems like he like has an extra focus on pitching. I saw him pitch with the Angels and hit with the Angels, and it seemed like hitting was what he was trying to prove. Maybe because guys like John Smoltz would come out and said, "Oh, he should be a pitcher only."
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, back with you here on Sports Grid. Let's talk a little baseball quickly. I know some of these games are going to get off and running here. Gabe talked about
that's right.
A money line parlay of a couple of NBA favorites. I did it with the baseball. Now, again, listen, it's baseball. It's tricky, but it's also early in the year. I felt a little bit more comfortable. I took the Reds and the Royals. Pair of good ball clubs on a little bit of a losing streak, relatively speaking here. Cincy back home with Chase Burns. I like that. I know the Royals let you down yesterday, Gabe. In my eyes.
Yes, they did, Kevin. Thank you. Yes, they did.
At home, losing 2 straight to the White Sox feels crazy. So I did a little Royals-Reds 2-step.
I'm worried about getting in front of it, but like the crew, actually, we got to get my picks up here. I got a 640
Oh, you
pick.
got some sick. I think they got a 640 pick. I might have missed a 640 pick from Chris.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
The...
See, the show's so good and so entertaining, I didn't even realize it was 6:43. I was like, I don't know what time I look up. I'm like, damn.
These baseball games sneak up.
So full disclosure, my 6:30 pick, my 6:40 pick was going to be the Detroit Tigers.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, Marlins, nice start, but they've only played 3 road games this year. They've lost 2 of them. The Tigers are 4-9. Hard to believe they've only played 3 home games. Tigers have literally, and I like the honesty from the room and the clubhouse. The guys are pretty down right now. Like, this is not, it hasn't been a fun week. I read one quote, player said, he goes, to go to Minnesota and not to win a single effing game was a punch in the mouth.
Wow.
And then he goes, we need to flip the script and sweep this weekend at home. And, I like the fact it wasn't, it's early and it's okay. They were like, no, this sucks. Like, this is bad, right? And this is not, they were like, this is not what we envisioned and this is not good. And I like the honesty of it. I was going to say, all right, I like this, Kevin. Well, runner on third base right now for the Marlins. 1 out in the first.
Well, listen. Hey,
I didn't get the bet in. Maybe I'm safe. I didn't get the bet in. Maybe I'll play in-game here if they score.
Chris, I know, has the over in this game. That was his 640 best bet. So he's got an 8.5. And, we should do these now just because I know we've got Craig coming on next segment. So
okay. Yeah.
So AJ went raised money line. Look at this. This guy, AJ, he was betting all these Yankee games. They were being good to him. And now you bite the hand that feeds you. It goes with raised money line. You know what? That upsets me a little bit. And then a Grizzlies Jazz over 247.5. I can't. I don't know. I can't really comment after I bet. After I bet the Bulls Wizards game.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. I like the unders and all those. This, the Wizards and the Bulls, I'm like, nah, they don't have the players to do it. We talked about. It's like if we played and they said they set the total at 37.5 teams. We'd be like, we still can't get there. We're not going to be able to get to 37. You know what I mean? Those type of deals. No, but Memphis and Utah can. Memphis and Utah can. Remember the other night I told you guys. And they covered, too. Don't forget at Denver. These son of a bitches hit 29 3-point shots the other night. It's clearly green light central in Memphis right now, Kevin. You know what I mean? It's dude, whatever. No one's getting mad if you shoot. It's shoot threes, go ahead. And we all know about Utah. You know, I mean, you. So I don't have a problem with that without betting the over pick. AJ lets me down a little bit. I thought he was a little bit more of an independent rocker type, like an alt type guy. Very mainstream picks this week.
He loves his baseball, Gabe. He loves his baseball.
No.
So
I kind of lean with the Rays tonight too. I don't love it, but I kind of lean.
Yanks pile on all of a sudden now.
Kind of lean with the Rays.
Gabe, I just pulled up the prop menu, at least on FanDuel for Jazz Grizzlies here. It looks like a summer league game. It's just Walter Clayton Jr. and Cody Williams, and they're not even over-unders. It's just 15 plus, 20 plus, 25 plus. These aren't even real numbers they're offering up here for Jazz Grizzlies, which, again, you can't really blame them when it comes to something like that. Was there anything else on the baseball board we missed, Gabe, though, that you were looking to play here? I took an under in the Patrick Corbin's debut tonight, under 9.
And I'm getting killed, and that's dangerous. That's bold, but the number's high. And here's another one. I liked Luzardo over 5.5 strikeouts. He's already got 2. This one crept up on me, too, at 640 with Arizona and Philadelphia.
It snuck by you. It snuck by.
Yeah, and Luzardo's got 2 strikeouts already. So, yeah, I should have gotten to the picks right away tonight. So I better rattle these ones off right now before they start. Give me the Raptors plus the 6.5 against the New York Knicks. Big game tonight, guys. And I'm telling you what, I said this before, but I'll say it again. If I had a vote for manager or coach of the year, etc., in these leagues, I would vote for Thiago Splitter to be the coach of the year in the NBA. Like what this guy has done this year, guys. Dude, like they were supposed to be a terrible team to begin with. Chauncey Billups gets arrested the day before the year starts. He takes over. It's like, all right, sort of this interim, sudden, okay, he'll take over. Everyone's hurt all the time on this team, and here they are. They're in the playoffs. And they're fighting. The Phoenix are pretty much the 7 seed here, so the Clippers and the Blazers are battling for the 8 spot. The Blazers just pounded the Clippers in Los Angeles last week. The Lakers are, the Clippers are aware of it. Like it was brought up that, yeah, they kicked our ass last week. We're aware coming into tonight. And you know it, Kevin, there's a massive difference, guys, between the 7 and the 8 seed and the 9 and 10 seed. Right? So you get 2 cracks at it, guys, as a 7 or 8. You win and you move on. You lose, you get another crack at it. The 9 and 10 has to win again. So Portland, they're battling for the 8 spot right now to play Phoenix. And I'm not going to dismiss this Portland team, Kevin. Not on their home court. And I like this Clipper team. I like the trade. I like the Garland. I like the Mathurin. I like the makeup. Kawhi likes it as well. They're much more competitive and like aggressive and scrappy on defense, etc. They've got like a younger feel to them. But with all that being stated, Kevin, this Portland Trailblazer team flies under the radar. And I think the odds makers kind of give them a little respect and understand by making them the home favorite tonight. I say the pride of the Pacific Northwest get it done tonight. The Portland Trailblazers win the game. And, you know, listen, we went 2-0 with the Tuesday night UFL picks.
Uh-huh.
Don't like going against the Orlando Storm, but give me the Louisville Kings tonight, plus 4 points.
Incredible name. We'll be right back here on Sports Grid. Craig Mish joining the show.
I gotta tell you, Kansas basketball the last 3 months, if I was the number 1 player in the country, I'd cross them off my list. Bill Self did not do Darren Peterson any favors. And now Badunga's gonna stay in college, but leave Lawrence? I'm red flags, in my opinion, Gabe, around the Jayhawks.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Kansas City trading as a favorite, Joe. Do we think that's the possibility of that first game?
Yeah, they should make it the Jets, Donnie, so they can guarantee a win in front of their fans to open up the set. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would do. But no, I mean, ideally the NFL would love a Kansas City reunion at Buffalo in the new stadium.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Why are all these contracts being signed, folks? Yes, the players are talented. Yes, they are deserving of it, but it's such goodwill to hand out these buyout arbitration contracts for these young players this time of the year, right before opening day, to get all their fans excited. And notice, right before the Pirates' home opener, not before opening day, before their home opener, to set up.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Am I going overboard when I'm saying that? I've never seen anything like this.
He's damn good, and it seems like he like has an extra focus on pitching. I saw him pitch with the Angels and hit with the Angels, and it seemed like hitting was what he was trying to prove. Maybe because guys like John Smoltz would come out and said, "Oh, he should be a pitcher only."
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, we got Craig Mish here, but a quick update from Augusta. Rory McIlroy is 12
That's the
under.
sound of CBS TV sports executives, Kevin. They don't have Tiger. They don't have whatever. They don't have.
At least it's Rory. You know,
He's
it
up
could
by
be
6.
It could be, you know, Jason Day with respect.
It's like Vince
you know.
Carter. It's Vince Carter
Yeah,
at the dunk
I don't
contest.
know.
It's over.
It's Rory.
Oh,
Can I get
it's
the field
over.
at 2-1? What can I get the field at?
What's the updated number right now? He was
I see
minus
minus
138
280.
before. Dear God, that's unheard of in golf.
Come on now, see? Not over. Also, Bryson missed a cut. So I'd like to congratulate myself on an awful bet of Bryson head-to-head with Rory in this tournament. It's not going to happen.
I like Bryson this week, too. I thought Bryson would be better, but I didn't realize. I don't even like Bryson as a person, so I don't like betting on him. But I did. But I didn't realize Jackass is playing with, like, 3D printer golf clubs and stuff like that, or 5D, so it's our own fault, Walsh.
right.
Let's talk baseball.
Yeah, it is. That's on us then. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball. Craig Mish here, of course, host of Newswire Pro Baseball today, covering all things Major League Baseball for us. And Craig, the Miami Marlins are off and running right now in Detroit. I'm just curious, what feels like to me, again, you know, I get it, it's April, but Miami could maybe make a little statement here in Detroit. Take 2 out of 3 against a Tiger team who really needs the series here. What's the main thing you feel you're keeping your eye on for this set?
Well, Sunday's matchup, I think, is really a prime matchup with Sandy Alcantara pitching against Tariq Skubal. So for me, that's like the locked-in one. And if the Masters goes this way, maybe I'll have time to watch that on Sunday. But yeah, I think that's kind of it, Kevin. We're still really in the early part of the season, and I just had a chance to see the Reds play Miami 4 games. I thought both teams were really good. I mean, could both teams be in the postseason? Maybe. I wouldn't discount the Reds either. They have some really good pitching here. But look, the home and road are 2 different animals completely, so we'll see what happens this weekend. But naturally, as soon as we're done here, that's what I'll pop on when I'm done.
Guys, it seems to me it's kind of been a nondescript first 2 weeks to the start of the Major League Baseball season. But something that stands out to me is the National League resurgence, the National League Central resurgence, of which here we go again. Milwaukee are good. Pittsburgh, some positivity around the Pirates, Craig, organization, which is actually legitimate, right? I mean, moving forward. I mean, you know, they lock up Griffin. You know that Skeens is going to get better as the season goes on. So if you're a Pirate fan, there's actually reason to be positive. Cincinnati aren't hitting, but they've won games. And the St. Louis Cardinals are a surprise team that no one's really talking about at 7-5 right now, Craig.
Yeah, all those teams, you're right, Gabe, playing excellent baseball. The Pirates, making all these moves and creating a lot of optimism for their fans. And, it's very hard this time of the year, as you said, Gabe, to get a real gauge of things. I would expect Detroit not to lose, 15 in a row. I would expect the Blue Jays not to lose 15 in a row. It's just an early part of the season when things get over magnified a little bit. But nondescript, I think that's fair, Gabe. I think that's a fair statement because we really haven't had anyone with 10 home runs, or no team is, outside of the Dodgers just crushing everybody. No team is just awful and you're like firing the manager.
No like crazy storyline. Yeah, no like
nothing.
You know what I mean? All right, the San Francisco
I think that's fair. Yeah,
fair. The Dodgers, Blue Jays, all right, rematch. That got a little hype, Kevin.
That's fair.
You know what I mean, Kevin?
I think it's
there's
fair.
There's not that buzz yet, but give it another couple of more weeks and suddenly, hey, if the Pittsburgh Pirates are suddenly 21-9 or something, then people will really start noticing.
Sure.
But I will say, I think one of the things that is going to stick with me through the rest of this month, Craig, that you said earlier, is just the idea of ruining your season in April. And, we mentioned Detroit already. The Seattle Mariners have lost 5 in a row. Mm-hmm. And it looks bad, too.
Yeah, that's getting a little real.
Like, I mean, they're playing an Astro team who just got swept by the Rockies, my goodness. But I got to tell you, this all of a sudden feels like one of those elevated series, Craig, between Seattle and Houston.
It could be. Again, a 4 or 5 game losing streak is going to happen to everybody over the course of the year. Look, I think if we were having this conversation a few days ago, like we were talking about the Red Sox and the Giants, and then all of a sudden things change. And I think things will change for Seattle too. So I'm not really, again, we're 2 weeks in. I'm really not going to overreact to a lot. But as Gabe mentioned, we get to the end of April, you sort of look at where you're at. And then, of course, Memorial Day is really where the clubs look at where they're at to sort of make decisions as to how they think their team is.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to follow. Craig, we appreciate your time. As always, Pro Baseball today, this weekend. Gabe, awesome. Of course, as always, good luck to those Raptors tonight. We'll see everybody next week here on Game Time Decisions.